Let's look at the tail of the tape in terms of just like measurables, right? 6'3", Neil Magny, who's fought the best of the best, who's literally only lost to some of the best grapplers there are recently, which is like who? Wasn't it Michael Chiesa and Shavkat Rakhmonov, right? Like when you're losing to those guys and you're calling out Hamzat, you're a different type of fighter. Daniel Rodriguez, on the other hand, if you look at his last couple of wins, they're big, but are they the most notable, right? You got to win over the Leech, massive. You got to win over Kevin Lee. All right, that didn't really age as well as we probably would have liked it to, right? You got to win over Preston Parsons. Cool. Mike Perry. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, okay. You know, D-Rod, you're a fantastic fighter. You got wins over Dwight Grant, Gabe Green, a big win over Tim Means, right? But it's a little bit different than a Neil Magny who has wins over Max Griffin, Jeff Neal, Robbie Lawler, Anthony Rocco Martin, The Leech, Craig White, Carlos Condit, Johnny Hendricks, Kevin Gastelum. The list goes on. AJ, what do you make of Neil Magny's 80-inch reach versus D-Rod's 74-inch reach in a striking contest, man? I mean, D-Rod's going to have to close the distance. Will he be able to do it successfully with the type of style he normally fights with?
One of the toughest styles to deal with against Neil Magny, man. This one's going to be a very, very hard fight for D-Rod, man, especially with the style that he presents of that. Just kind of brawler marauder is just not necessarily a marauder who's just like, I don't know, thick and like stuck in his ways. But D-Rod really comes to knuckle up, man. And there's nothing really more you can say about him besides this dude's a dog. And having to get on the inside against a dude with an 80-inch reach who knows how to use those hands very, very well, man. It's gonna be fighting an uphill battle for D-Rod, especially with the multiple facets that Neil Magny's good at, man. He's good at grappling. He's good at striking. This dude knows how to stay long, and he's very, very fast and fluid, can move. I don't really see D-Rod getting the best of that kind of peekaboo style to get on the inside, cut off the cage, and make Neil Magny basically sit in a phone booth and kind of fight it out with you. Do you think D-Rod possesses the kind of skills in order to provide that kind of fight, pressure forward, get a guy in a corner and keep him there until you beat him up? Is that something we're going to see out of D-Rod? Because like you pointed out, Derek, a lot of his really big fights and why we were so hyped on him when it was because of his early start in the career of the UFC. Now lately that we're seeing more of that kind of style, more people have film on him. We're starting to see less knockouts. We're starting to see more holes exposed. What do you think?
I think D-Rod is very heavy on his front feet, right? Which is a great style to have, especially in this UFC Apex cage, the small cage. Neil Magny is a front foot guy too. You know what I mean? So that's the hard part. Can you win that battle? Can you lead the dance? And I think D-Rod's going to have a really tough time doing that in this fight, specifically because if you overcommit, Neil Magny is going to take you down and he's going to hold you, and it's not going to be fun. Now, D-Rod, on the other hand, though, you got to think about it. I think he could hurt Magny, bro. I think he can actually legitimately hurt Magny in this fight, and I think he can have some of the bigger moments in the fight, but overall body of work, I think Neil Magny is going to edge this one out. Longer, rangier, more versatile, more well-rounded. His fight, I mean, honestly, bro, just look at the last fight. Look at the Shavkat Rakhmonov fight. You know what I mean? Yeah, he got handled by, Shavkat, but he literally is only losing to the best grapplers right now. Daniel Rodriguez's last loss was to Nicholas Dalby, which a lot of people thought that D-Rod won the fight. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I think Neil Magny is just a different level. He's ranked number 13, but in reality, AJ, what do you think he should be ranked at in this division? Probably not 13.
I mean, I'd say he's top 10 kind of fighter, man.
Absolutely.
I mean, Magny's crazy. Magny's really, really good in a lot of different areas. My question to you, Derek, does D-Rod need a finish in this fight? Because when we were just talking about that right there, in my mind, you can't win a decision if you're going for a finish the whole time. Does D-Rod need that kind of stoppage to get this fight? Because I'm looking at the stats right now, Magny has more decisions. Strangely enough, D-Rod has more knockouts and more submissions.
That's true.
What does he need?
Well, I'll tell you this, man. I'm glad you brought that point up because that just made me think about the controversy that we didn't get to talk about last week, right? But look at Dustin Jacoby versus Khalil Roundtree Jr. Do we love Khalil Roundtree Jr. on this program? Of course we do. Did he have the probably bigger, flashier moments in his fight against Dustin Jacoby? Yes. Did he get outstruck by damn near double? Yes, right? So it's like that could be this fight. And that's a weird thing to say, but that could be this fight. Neil Magny could double the output of a D-Rod, but if D-Rod has the bigger moment, he could win. So short answer, I don't know. Long answer, I don't fucking know, brother. I don't know, man. It's just all up to the judges. So safe to say for both fighters, don't leave it to the judges. Get a finish, right? If you're Neil Magny, get him to the ground, take his back, and choke him out. If you're D-Rod, knock him out. It's as simple as that. May the best man win. However, we got to make a pick. I like the experienced fighter. I always love the fighter that's got the 6-7 inch reach. Seldom do you see them lose to the shorter, stockier fighter unless they got a massive power advantage. And D-Rod does have a weight advantage in this one. You know, he's a big guy. But I like Neil Magny. I like the decision here. I think that D-Rod has a better chance of finishing Magny than Magny does of D-Rod unless he gets him to the ground and TKOs him or submits him. Plus 120 decision. I'm taking the over. Minus 205 for the over at 2.5 rounds right there, brother. So you got to love it. The question is, if you like Magny, how do you like Magny getting it done?
Yeah, Derek. I mean, it's just looking at those numbers. I feel like the smart man takes that plus 120 decision. You're really looking for a gamble. Neil Magny can get a finish both by TKO and submission. But when's the last time D-Rod has actually been finished? Let me look real quick.
Has he
Only
even?
by decisions.
Yeah.
Only by decisions. So I'm right there with you, man. I'm taking Neil Magny plus 120 by decision. I think it's going the distance right here, brother.
Absolutely, man. And I'm just going to say, you can't count any of this stuff up. Even though we look at it and we might say this is ludicrous, Trayshawn Gore fought Josh Fremd and submitted him at a plus 2,000 submission prop right there. Almost snapped the man's neck with that guillotine. That was fantastic. And I'm sorry, folks, we couldn't recap those fights, but like we have to sprinkle a little bit in over here. You know what I'm saying? That's your play right there. Neil Magny decision plus 120, take it to the bank.